This is Let's Talk Teens, a parenting podcast sharing tips on raising amazing teenagers. We are both certified life coaches that have worked with teenagers as coaches, mentors, and teachers. We are sharing what we have found to work best when dealing with teens and tough issues.
This is Let's Talk Teens with Abbi and Cheree, episode 82, teaching your teen about healthy friends versus so-so friends.
So many of my coaching calls, coaching conversations with teens center around friends and what's a good friend and what's a so-so friend. That's a word that I love to use is so-so because I feel like when talking to youth, especially about their friends, as parents, this is a little side tip for you before we even get into our episode. Avoid calling their friend toxic, unhealthy, um, dangerous, right? Or a bad kid, right? We really want to be careful of that language. And so borrow my term, parents. I love this term so-so friend because my experience has been working with teens. They're not offended by that. And it gives them enough pause. And so I want to talk today about, okay, how can we teach our youth about what does a healthy friendship look like? And what does a so-so friend look like? And I just think that's such a critical conversation to continue to have with your youth throughout their whole life. Because sometimes we assume that our teenagers know what healthy friendships look like. And they have experienced them, but there's some complexities that come into teenage friendships, whether it's you like, I think you're cute, or like we were best friends and now my best friend got a boyfriend. Like, there's just so many complexities that enter the teenagehood that I think it's always so important to be talking to our youth about what's a healthy friend and what is a so-so friend.
I love that. I love that getting rid of labels, but then also really helping your teen see like what they want and what's healthier for them. I love that.
Yeah, and I do with my clients, I define that so-so friend as I say, well, sometimes they're really nice to me and sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have fun together and sometimes we don't. Sometimes I feel good and we laugh and we have fun in class, and then sometimes I hang out and I feel better, like worse about myself when I leave, right?
Mm.
And so that's why they're so-so friend, like, they're kind of good, they're kind of bad. And try that term out with your teens. I think it will help. But one of the
I
first
know.
things to like kind of just reinforce, teach your teens, and honestly, any of your youth, any of your children, is that healthy friends support and encourage. They are all about you trying new things. They're all about you branching out. They're not about keeping you down. I said so-so friends try to shrink your circle of things that you do, the circle of people that you hang out with.
Mm.
And so teach them healthy friends, aka who we want to be. We expand, we keep our arms open, and we let our friends not only have other friends, but we let them have other passions and hobbies, and we let them do other things than just hang out with us.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And to me, like a so-so friend is still building their confidence. They have a lot of insecurities. That's why they have to, they feel small, so they need you to feel small. Where that healthy friendship, is just that is they're more confident in themselves, so they can also show that way, show up that way for you as well.
And I think too, that's why I like this term of so-so friends because I have been a so-so friend. I have
Yeah,
been a
same.
so-so friend like all of
Yeah.
junior high. Like when
Yeah.
I think about that.
I was like, we're all in that, and we all have those insecurities where we show up as a so-so friend, right? Especially in those
Yes.
age. Yeah, that age.
Especially when I was like, you are my best friend and only my
Hmm.
best friend, right? Like that was me being a total so-so friend, right? And it's out of love. That's what's hard sometimes about teenage friendships and preteen friendships is you just love them so much. And it's actually some of our first like loves, not romantically, but just like I care about this person so much. They are such a part of me. And it can be hard and scary when they now have friends from this class or they want to be a part of the school play and you don't, right? And those can be hard things. And so helping your youth see, hey, it can still be hard and I can choose to be a good friend by letting them do that, by
Yeah.
letting them have those other friends. And I'm going to go to their school play and I'm going to support them. Like that's how I can be a better friend.
But I think it is that natural like fear of like I'm going to lose them, so I have to hold on tight to them, and I have to like have them only have me as a friend. It's a fear.
Yes. Well, another thing I have down is that healthy friends change and grow with you. Um,
Mm.
so friends try to, pull you down, keep you where you at, never let you change and grow. And I just think that that is a real mark of a beautiful friendship and a great friend when they can let you grow and change. And that might be that, their youth or their friend, they now want to be different than they were before. Maybe they're trying to, I don't know, trying to get their life in order to go on a mission. Maybe they are trying to get ready for college. They want to take things more seriously. And as a friend, we support that. And our friends, our healthy friends, are going to support that and say, okay, I love this for you, right? Like, I'm going to change alongside you. I'm going to see you grow and change into a different person. That might mean our friendship kind of changes and grows and evolves, but that's okay. I also help my teen clients know that sometimes our friendship status is going to change. Maybe we went from best friends to now we're just kind of hang out friends every now and then. Maybe I still love them to pieces, but I really don't see them as much. And that's a really natural part of that evolution of elementary school where we have lots of time to play to junior high to high school where maybe I'm not playing with you all the time or hanging out, but I still can love you to pieces.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know, maybe it's just because we came off of the episode about fixing our emotions, but I think being an incredible, healthy friend is still being like, I'm so happy for you. And I am kind of sad that we're not going to spend as much time together or that you're leaving on a mission and I'm going to miss you. But it's not because we're a healthy friend is going to process their own emotions. They're not putting their emotions on that other person. Like you can't go on a mission because I'm going to miss you so much. Or you can't hang out with that other person, that other friend. This would be a social friend. You can't hang out with that other person because I might feel uncomfortable or, fear or feel rejected or feel,
Or you
insecure.
can't bring another person along. That's what I
Yeah.
see often. Like, oh, we're going to the movies and you want to invite other people. So friends would be like, no way, this is
Yeah.
our thing.
But that's
Where
because they
healthy
can't have, yeah, that's because they can't handle their own emotions, right? Like where a healthy friend is really going to be like, okay, have some uncomfortable emotions and I love you and I still want you to go succeed.
one is that healthy friends will communicate needs and wants. Um,
Mm,
this one is a really big one when it comes to high school because that's a big emotional skill. Like I even think as adults, so sometimes we have to stop and think this through. But where I see this often for teenagers is if we've had a set of best friends or dear friends, and then one of them gets a significant other, that can be really hard. And just communicating that shows that emotional maturity of talking to a friend and saying, hey, I know you're hanging out with Sarah all the time now because you guys are girlfriend, boyfriend. And I just want to know when can we still hang out? Or can Sarah come with us to these things? Like communicating that versus making them feel shamed or guilty
mm.
about the fact that they have a significant other or that they have other friends or other hobbies or interests. That's a good marker of a healthy friend versus a social friend that's going to try to make you feel shameful or guilty about certain parts of yourself.
Oh, that communication piece is such a big piece. It really can solve a lot of problems when we just talk about it and be like, "Hey, how about this?" and "How about this?" And I think that does show a ton of maturity.
And so we want to help our youth. Sometimes our teenagers, maybe you could relate to this, parents, sometimes they're a little self-righteous. I know that I was queen of being self-righteous in as a teenager, but I'll never forget like some of my friends, like I once had a friend that, I was wearing a shirt and she just said to me, instead of like, good morning, how are you? She's like, Abby, don't you think that shirt's a little low? And oh, I was so embarrassed. I was like, no, like it hadn't ever crossed my mind. And so I just remember thinking, wow, I don't know if I want to hang out with this person, right? Like
Right.
that hurt my feelings so deeply. And so helping our youth be that good friend that just
Hmm.
accepts our friends where they're at, right? And doesn't, I don't know, doesn't layer on any shame or guilt. Like as a teenager, I think it's important to be accountable to our parents, right? And that's kind of how I felt like when I was like, well, my mom thought my shirt was fine, right? Versus
Hmm.
like being our friends. So sometimes checking in with our youth and just saying, hey, a so-so friend is going to make us feel shame or guilty or like that we don't measure up to their standards, whether that's I'm not as good of a basketball player as they are, or I don't wear the same clothes that they do. And we want to help our friends know, okay, healthy friends communicate needs and wants, but we also accept people where they are at.
Absolutely. No, I love that. A healthy friend is going to, let you know if you have your shirt tucked into your underwear, but they're going to do it in a nice way, not in a not in a way of like making you feel more embarrassed.
I love that, Cheree, because I
Oh,
also think um, a skill to teach your youth about that bridge of like elementary school to junior high, that preteen age, is hey, a good friend says, you've got something in your teeth,
yeah.
or you've got your shirt tucked into your underwear, because I would love for somebody to tell me that.
Yeah.
The flip side, if I can't change it, that's one thing I teach my clients. I'm like, if they can't change it in that moment, then maybe we don't mention it, right? Like
Right.
if it's, oh, I can get this out of my teeth, or I can, like my hair's falling out, and we can help a friend with that, we mention that because that's being a good friend. And so I know we don't love this word, so I actually use a different word with my clients, but let's role play with our youth and just say, hey, here's an experience I had of my dress falling apart at prom. Here's how my friend handled it. How would you handle that?
Oh, I
Teenage
love that.
daughter today,
Yeah.
and just asking them and telling them, like, here's how I would do this a little different so that I could be a better friend. Or even sharing those embarrassing but like and painful experience of like, let me tell you when I was a so-so friend and I didn't let this girl come and play with me and my other friend, right? And I really regret that now. And letting them kind of role play, walk through that. The word I use is walk through. I'll say, hey, let's walk through this again. Let's
Mm.
let's redo this and how would we do it different? Because this conversation about healthy friends and so-so friends, it's an ongoing one. It's not a one time my mom talked to me about good friends and I learned every lesson that I need to know. It's we continue to talk about these things.
I love that. I love just having them walk through it or role playing it, asking questions like, what would you do differently? Or, how would you handle that next time? So vital so that they can be that healthy friend and not the so-so friend. And also so they know how to navigate those so-so friends and what they want to do with it. Because sometimes I tell my clients this, sometimes friendships expire. Just like milk, it's really good until it's not. And sometimes friendships are like that too, and they just need to expire. And
Yeah.
some will last forever, and that's okay. That's great. But some will expire, and that season of friendship has ended, and that's not a problem. And that might be some of those so-so friends.
Yes. And kind of a last thought to like wrap up this episode is, sometimes friendships take a longer time to ripen, right? And so we want to like, be that type of healthy friend that we can all of a sudden go, wow, I'm actually way better friends with this person than I was. And just like you said that some friendships expire, I'll teach my clients like sometimes the cost of me being a so-so friend is I'm not friends with that person anymore. And that's okay too. Like nothing's really gone wrong. I know our youth, they will fight me on that one. They'll be like, yes, it has gone wrong. I want to be friends. And I'm like, I know. But guess what? Sometimes that's the price of that lesson. But guess what? I
It's good
learned my
learning.
lesson,
Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
now I can maybe go on and save another friendship because I learned that painful lesson. And so sometimes that's a really hard truth for friends or clients when they'll tell me, well, I really betrayed my friend's trust and now she's not talking to me. And what can I do to fix it? And sometimes they'll say, you know what? I maybe we don't fix this one. Maybe we did betray their trust. We weren't a great friend, and that's the lesson learned. And we say sorry, we do our best, but guess what? They can choose not to be our friend anymore. And oh, teens, they don't always believe me on that. They're like, "No, I can fix it." And I'm like, maybe you can't, right? And that's okay. So, parents, we hope that this can just start a conversation with your youth and you about, hey, what's a healthy friend? What's a so-so friend? And how can I be that healthier friend and learn some of those skills? So, best of luck, and we can't wait to see you in our next episode. Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Teens with Cheree Murdock and Abbi Winslow. If you are looking for more tips to help your teenager, here's where you can find us. You can find Cheree Murdock on Instagram at Cheree Murdock Coaching or on her website, ChereeMurdock.com. You can find me, Abbi, on Instagram as Abbi Winslow or on my website, AbbiWinslow.com. Please rate and review our podcast and share with a fellow parent. Thanks for listening.